Going to Argentina to meet the pilots, I flew into Buenos Aires and I'd already booked a hotel. And I met up with the journalist, Nick Tozer, who was going to arrange the meeting. And the day before, he took me around Argentina and we went to the Las Malvinas War Memorial. And I left some poppies. I'd taken some poppies with me. I left some poppies there. And we went to a few other places and then just went for a few beers. And then the following day, we met at the arranged place and went to the meeting. And we met Captain Colombo, Jorge Colombo, outside the Argentine Naval Officers Club. And he was immaculately turned out, had a blazer and tie, and I was in backpacking trekking gear in boots and jeans, and I felt a bit embarrassed really. Anyway, we went downstairs to the Sheraton, and the journalist Nick Tozer was with us, and I'd specifically told him, no cameras, no recording devices, no notepads, nothing. It's a private meeting. There's not to be anything. I'd checked to make sure he didn't have anything like that, because at the time he wanted to turn it into a bit of a spectacle, which I didn't want. And when we sat down at the table, Captain Colombo, he put his hands on the table and he took and breathed out, and he said, "You must understand that this was nothing personal, all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I understand that." And it almost seemed as if he was breathing a sigh of relief. He might not have been, but it just appeared that way. Captain Colombo is fluent in 4 languages. He said he's a highly respected naval aviator, genuine Top Gun. And he said, "I'll have to be careful what I say because I'm so well known. And anything I do say, any opinions I give, I would like to remain confidential between us here." And I said, "They will do. You have my word on that." And they always have done as well, because he, said some things which wouldn't do him any favours. So we talked for a while about, what had happened and why it had happened. And he said, Lieutenant Commander Mayora would be along shortly, but Captain Bedekratz lived a long way from Buenos Aires, and he he wouldn't be able to make it, although he did send his regards and thanks for coming all that way to see them. And at some point, Captain Colombo asked the journalist to leave, so we could just be there with just me and him, just 2 people who were there and no one else. And that's when Lieutenant Commander Mayora came in, and Captain Colombo said, "This is the bad guy." And he goes, "No, I'm not the bad guy." His English wasn't as fluent, but he was still very, very good at English. And I asked him the same as I asked Captain Colombo about, "How do you feel about the loss of Sheffield? You flew the mission." Colombo planned it, he didn't fly it. And he said, "I was just doing my job and I'd do it again." And that's exactly what he should have said. And I said, how do you feel about I asked him the same as Colombo, "How do you feel about the loss of life?" And he said, I'm sorry for the men and I'm sorry for their families, but I'm not sorry for doing my job. And that's perfectly okay. And then he said the same thing. "What about our friends?" He said, "You killed my best friend from best man at our wedding. How do you feel about that?" And you know what? I was really, really sorry. I got the golf ball in the throat. And I said, "I'm so sorry about that." And I really, really was. And it was a meeting of, people who were both doing their jobs. Both were sent by, their respective governments, whether they agreed with it or not. They went to do what military people do. They go to sort out the mess created by governments. And Captain Colombo was a truly worthy adversary. He was a great flyer. He was a dignified and a decent and an honourable man. I'd like to meet him again if he's still alive. He'd be 82 now. Same with Lieutenant Commander Mayora. He was a professional pilot and doing a job which they did well. They held no professional regrets. They held only personal regrets of sorrow for the bereaved families. And I hope it's the same for the folks on our side. No regrets doing their job, but we are sorry for, the folks who've suffered since.